Um, every time that you talk, ask a question, answer a question, or read, I will give you a point. If I see that you're on your cell phone or not paying attention, then I'll take points away. All right? So in MBPS ESOL, this will come up in a minute. Here it comes. In MBPS ESOL, you will see that there is a new reading. Before the break, we talked about the U.S. Civil War, but we have so many new students. We're going to go ahead and start on a new unit, so everybody's at the same place. So this is what we're talking about now. It's a growing America, the westward expansion of the United States. Who can tell me what expansion means? Say it again. Yeah, that's right. Getting bigger. Expansion means to get bigger. And we can see here the words west. Oops. West, right there. What's the opposite of west? Somebody besides Vlad? Opposite of west. Do we know what this means? Yeah. So what's the opposite? If this is west, what's this? Huh? East. Who said that? Jack? All right, Jack.
Just me.
That was Lance? Oh, okay. Yes. So you can see here, over here is the east part of the United States, the eastern part of the United States, and this is the western part of the United States. Where did the United States begin? Was it in the west or in the east? Who said that? Yeah, it's Bill. All right, Bill. So these were the original, what did we call these when they were part of England? Oh, Tony, you can't have your iPad out, buddy. If I see that you have an iPad or iPhone on, so you should put that in your backpack, just so that I don't think that you're looking at it. All right, there we go. So what did we call these when they were part of England?
34.
Huh?
30.
13 begins with a C. Vlad said it. Colonies, that's right. I'm going to type it up here in the search bar right here. Colony. Everybody see that word? Colony. That's what these 13 states were when they were part of England. Then they had what happened when they stopped being part of England? What was it called? No, not a civil war. It was when there's a government and it was sort of a civil war, but there was another word. Begins with an R.
Revolution.
Who said that? Alex? All right, Alex. So they had a revolution and became the United States. No longer part of England, but their own country. Then there was a civil war. What's a civil war? Who can tell me what a civil war is? Luke, tell me.
Silver get the liberation, then they fight each other.
Edgardo and Anastasia, can you guys come sit over here? Thank you. Civil War. Luke, I'm still going to give you a point for trying. That's okay. We know Vlad knows the answer. Anybody else know what a Civil War is? Civil War. Let me write it down here. Civil War. Oop. Anyone know this word? All right, Vlad, tell us what it is.
This is war in one country with one country, but no different.
That's right. It's when there's a war in one country.
Same people.
Yeah. So imagine that. Yeah. Imagine in China, the people from Beijing decide to fight against the people from Shanghai. They're in the same country, right?
Yeah.
That's a civil war. Different than a regular war, where you got China and they fight against Japan. That would be a regular war. And a revolution is when the people fight against the government. That's a revolution, all right? So we got three different kinds of wars that we're talking about. So after the Civil War in the United States started going towards the West. You can see here the word West and then ward. Have you ever seen this word in another word in English? Anybody? Anyone think of another word? I'll just go ahead and tell you. Toward. You've seen this word, right? When you move in the direction where something is. Right now I'm moving toward Alex. Moving toward Alex. Well, you can add this word, this part, to west. So there's the west. Word. Eastward. Northward. That means you're going in the direction of something. So the United States is moving which direction? From the east to the west. Very good. And you can see here, in different colors, some of the first times that the United States sent people to go and look in the West to see what was out there. Later on, at the very end here, you can see that there was a railroad that went all the way out here. It's a railroad. Railroad. What's the sound you might expect to hear with this, a railroad? Huh? Well, is this something you drive? It's a road, right? You got a road. Is this something you drive a car on?
Yeah.
You drive a car on it?
Road? No.
A road you definitely can drive a car on. A railroad. This is what a railroad is. Everybody recognize this? So this is a railroad. What do you call this thing? A train, exactly. Who said that? All right, Thomas. Vlad, I'm giving you an extra point. To get an A for today, for our discussion, you should answer at least 2 questions. All right? Or read. All right, so this is what the railroad would have looked like back then. And they used wood and burned wood. This is called a steam engine. Anyway, this was very important because once they had a railroad going from the east to the west, people could move very fast from the east to the west. How long do you think it took if you didn't have a railroad and you didn't have cars? All you had were horses. How long would it take to get from here to here?
1 week.
More than a week. More than a month. It might take 2-3 months. Moving along, and they used to go in what was called a wagon train. You see all these people here moving along in these wagons? It's called a wagon. and they used horses. And they would sleep in these, and they had all their food in here, but they had to be able to go for 2 or 3 months. Once the trains came, everybody could move. Within a week, you could move out there. Okay, so this is the reading that we're going to be looking at for this week. It's called Miners, Ranchers, and Railroads. All right, so we talked about railroads. And while this opens, Edgardo, you need to stay awake, buddy. All right. We talked about railroads. Who knows what mine is? Now, we've heard this word like, this is mine. That's one meaning, right? This is mine. But there's also something, it's spelled exactly the same way. Do you see when people go and they can get metal and things out of the ground? Let me show you what a miner looks like. See these guys? And they go down into the ground. Ching, ching, ching. And, one of the things that happened in the West is they found gold. Everybody know gold? Bling, you know? Yeah, exactly. You got it around your neck. That was a big thing that happened, was they found gold in the West. And people wanted to get gold, so they started going out towards the west so that they could find gold. Then, so there's mine, miner is the person that does it. If you add ER to the end of a word, like drive, driver, the person that's driving. What else? Huh? Play, player, right? So if you add ER to the end of a word, many times it makes it into a person. All right. So this is the chapter that we're going to be studying. What do you call these guys here? In Spanish, vaquero. In English,
they killed the Indian people, right?
That's right. These are called cowboys. Yeah, exactly. Well, because originally these guys took care of cows. Yeah. That's their job. You see here,
Yes, I see
this guy, he's got the thing like this, and he goes
and
and
the people who say Indian people.
yeah, exactly.
Yes. Movie are poor people. Always. No, kill me, please.
Well, these guys' their job was to go around and take care of cows. Everyone knows what a cow is, right? Moo, moo. Yeah, exactly. And when you get a steak, it comes from a cow. So these guys' job was to go around all day long and make sure that the cows were okay. They had food and water. Later, as Vlad and some other folks said, they have fights with Indians.
Do you know the ferrocarril that is
Railroad.
that's the railroad with the carbon now is
Everybody,
yes.
when we say Indian, this is what they're talking about. Is there a country called India? Right?
Yes, but so different India. In this America is so different.
Yeah. So there's people that live in the country, India, who are called Indians. But then there's these people who are also called Native American. Native means that you were born here. Native American. This was a mistake because when the first person who came, the first European person who came to America, Christopher Columbus, he thought that he was in India, and he thought that China was next. So when he sees these people, and they look dark, right? He says, "Ah, I'm in India. Yay." So he calls them Indians. But they weren't from India, obviously. All right, so, wrong one. So these were cowboys. We normally think of them as fighting against Indians, and it's true, that did happen. I wonder who would like to read.
I remember one movie named Readings.
Hello. Power strip. You can take one from down there if you want. That's right. Yeah. Vlad will help you. Okay, I wonder who would like to read for us this first sentence right here. This is for a point. Who'd like to read this first sentence?
I can read.
Okay, Edgardo.
With my glass.
Okay.
My new glass.
I can read.
All right.
My friend.
All right. Edgardo's going to read the first sentence for us here. Go ahead.
After the American Civil War, the United States began a process of building a new economy and political structure.
Very good. That's great. Thank you. Okay. After the American Civil War, the United States began a process of building a new economy and political structure. What's a process? Yeah. Not quite. Yes. That's right. It means doing something. We're in the process of talking right now. It's when you're doing something, all right? So, was in the process of building a new economy. When you think of economy, what do you think of?
I read bad teacher me.
Economy.
My pronunciation bad.
No, your pronunciation was great. Economy. Who can tell me what you think of when you think of economy? Somebody besides Vlad? Anybody? Some folks don't have any points. So if you don't have a point,
Money.
Money!
somebody who doesn't have a point.
You want money? You want? Okay.
All right.
Come on.
Who do I give that to?
You want money?
That's right. When you think of economy, you think of money. Okay, very good. Political. Yeah.
The people in the country.
Politics. This is related to the word. Very good, Edgardo. So, politics is like what a government does. When people say, hey, my name is Mr. Hanson. Please vote for me to be your president. I'll be the best president, right? That's politics. Come on. There you go. And what about structure?
What?
Structure.
Structure is the structure and the buildings.
That's right. How something is made.
Name?
Mm-hmm. What something is built out of. What it looks like. Structure. So structure can be like a building.
House. School.
Mm-hmm. How something is built, how it's made, what it looks like. But we're talking about economy and political here. So they're talking about how the government looks. There's different kinds of government. There's democracy, communism, there's kings. You can have a monarchy is what it's called. So there's different kinds of political structures, the way things are made. Who'd like to read the next sentence for us? All right, Kayun.
Events in the rest of the world began affecting the nation noticeably.
Very good. Events in the rest of the world began affecting the nation more noticeably. What are events? Yes. An event could be a party. Who else besides Vlad can tell me what event means? Event.
What? Bands? I know
Event.
what is band.
Event.
Event is one example of my party.
Tell me, Kayun. When something happens, right? So maybe there's a party. That's an event.
Party and her birthday.
Her birthday would be an event. If there's a war, that's an event. It's something that happens.
When two people marry.
When two people marry, it's an event. You go to school, it's an event. It's when something happens, right? Okay. Events in the rest of the world began affecting.
To affect is one problem I can affect.
Yeah, very good, Edgardo. So, to affect means to cause change. Let's say that Thomas wants to go to Harvard. Thomas wants to go to university at Harvard. So let's say that he has all A's in every single class, but he gets an F in weightlifting. So he wants to know, will this affect me going to Harvard? If Harvard sees that he has an F in weightlifting, will it affect him going to Harvard? So it's when something matters, right? You could also say like, okay, that's it. We'll talk more tomorrow, okay? Thank you, guys.